Today I'm about to show you a proof of concept, if you will, an antenna that I've been building for really the past 6 years, and I haven't even really known that I've been building it. So I'd like to tell you that story, I'd like to jump in the field, and I'd like to make some input about the Dexpert antenna system. An antenna system that combines the DX Commander, a POTA performer, and my Dexpert antenna plates. I'll do my best as we go along to explain to you the concepts and theories on why this antenna could work and who it should work for. So with that being said, let's go have some fun and let's take a look at the Dexpert antenna system.
I've purchased this tripod, a contractor's tripod, off of Amazon.com, and it fully extends to be 63 inches in height.
In the last episode, building the POTA Performer, I utilized a camera tripod with a single plate and a single antenna, and it worked great for that scenario. But the problem is we have a lot more weight and therefore a lot more stress on top of the tripod when we're utilizing 3 to 4 telescopic whips and 2 heavy antenna plates. And that's why I chose to go with a contractor tripod.
And as I'm putting this all together, I'm just making sure that my tripod is level. As you can see right now, it looks like it's tilted on an angle, and I just need to make sure that the legs on here are equally spaced apart or equally extended out. That's still not perfect, but it's a lot better. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk over to here and I'm going to unlock each of these clamps. Now that I have those unlocked, I may need to move my legs a little bit more again, but I could pull up the top portion, and that's how we get our 63 inches. And once you're at a spot that you like, go ahead and lock it into place. Now that I have the tripod fully extended and locked into place, I'm just going to go around here with my foot, and this is really nice. I'm just going to press it in on each of these feet. And the ground does the rest. The ground holds it into place pretty well where I'm at without any kind of guy support.
Before you fully build this antenna out and you just trust that the soil will be fine, you should really test the tripod and the conditions, because even though this works in my area, I have to tell you that not everybody has the same soil or the same environmental conditions.
When I first got the tripod, it looked like this, nice and flat. And I'm sure people right now are thinking, there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with a flat tripod like this. The one thing is there was a 5/8 connector that came out of here, and 5/8 didn't really kind of match anything that I needed. So I went ahead and I disconnected the 5/8 connector, and now we could see right through.
While testing the Dexpert antenna system, I took a break and realized I could use this contractor's tripod for something like the Gigadude 25 clampable carbon fiber mast, and it works great. And maybe we could take a look at that in the future, but my next step was to take a very familiar antenna system and put it on top of this tripod.
Dexpert antenna system, which I've built, designed, and developed here recently, and we're going to put it up on top over here. If you're unfamiliar what the Dexpert antenna system is, I'll talk about it a little in this episode, but I will also link a video below for you to watch that will explain it all.
The Dexpert antenna system and the Dexpert antenna system utilize multi-band vertical antennas like you'd see with the DX Commander, who was a big inspiration to this video. And if you're unfamiliar, a multi-band vertical antenna allows you to utilize multiple bands at the same time, or basically you don't have to go out and tune each time you want to switch frequencies. So for example, today I'll be utilizing 12 meters, 15 meters, and 20 meters, and after I tune them up the first time, I can just switch the bands on my radio, and it should, if I did everything correctly, function well. Hey, and the cool thing about the Dexpert antenna system is if I bring radials for other bands, and we'll talk about radials in a moment, I could just on the fly adjust the telescopic whips for the other bands that I might want to work. If 12 meters is lousy, I can go work 10 meters.
But the Dexpert antenna system has 4 glass reinforced nylon bolts, which make them very durable bolts, okay? And those go all the way through both plates. In the middle of the plates, we have a spacer to prevent these 2 plates from touching. If these plates touch, that means your radial field and your antenna field are all in the same field, and that is no good. Now we have a hole that is really large on the bottom of this tripod, and we have a hole that's not so large on the top of the tripod. So we got to figure out something to do that we could basically plug the hole on the bottom of the tripod. And to do that, I came up with this part. Again, I want to mention this part's not perfect. It needs to be expanded to be a little larger, but right now it will work for what we're going to do. I'm going to put that under here.
This video shows a lot of prototypes, or it shows the build in progress. It's not a finished product by any means, but it's at this point functional, and I can now go back later and I can make that piece larger. I could fix my radio wires, which you're about to see, and I could do a lot more tweaking to make this a more final product for myself. But that's the fun of experimentation, is we get to get ourselves, or give ourselves, ideas. We get to modify them and work with them, and through that process we do this thing called learning. It's pretty cool.
I'm going to put this under the tripod and have it pop up right here where I'm going to put the Dexpert antenna system on, and then I'm going to put the nut on top. It'll look like this. See, the bolt went all the way through, and then we have a nut on the top. Today for our antennas, I'm going to use these 3 different antennas. 2 of these are the HRD 25-foot telescopic antennas, which I had for sale last year, and we might see another run of these here in the near future. These are 3/8 24 threaded, and they go right through that top plate. And of course, then we're going to also use an LI Express Special, which is a 17-foot telescopic antenna with M10, and I'm using a snake clamp for an adapter. This converts basically 3/8 male to M10 female and allows us to put in the LI Express antenna. And if we come back over here, somewhere in all this glory is a spacer plate, I hope. You know, and that's one of the interesting things about having to come all the way out to a park in order to set up and show you these things, is I better damn well be sure that I brought everything. And if I didn't, we have to adapt. So that's what we're going to do today. But the spacer plate I'm talking about would go on these antennas. And what they would do is they would basically have a way to hold on to certain sections of these 3 antennas. So as you extend them, it keeps those 3 antennas equally spaced, especially when we might be seeing winds. I think we're going to be okay without them today, but I did forget it. And I'll see if I can't put a photo right here of what it looks like.
When I printed the top piece, the spacer for the antennas, I printed it in black TPU. Now TPU is a flexible material, which allows the antenna to have a little bit of play, but not touch each other. The problem with that is it was black TPU, and maybe I should have used something like orange TPU or a more vibrant color, because then I would have been able to find it, and I have no idea where I left it. Always do a gear check. Our next step is to install the radial wires. With the DX Commander, we would get a lot of radial wires on the ground. This is to help compensate for ground loss. The radial wires didn't need to be a certain length, and the more the better. 32 was a good number for radials. When we're dealing with an elevated antenna system like the Performer or the POTA Performer, we don't need that many radials because our radial wires are tuned. And so, for example, we're going to use a 1/4 wavelength on each radial wire. That means if I'm running a 20-meter 1/4 wave vertical, I'm going to have 2 radial wires at a 1/4 wavelength each for 20 meters. The suggestion was made that in the future, I make trapped radial wires, and I think that's an amazing idea that I hope I get time to explore here in the future. In today's scenario, I'll have 2 radial wires for 20 meters, 2 for 15 meters, and 2 for 12 meters.
I have all my radial wires in here for right now, and the best thing I could have done would have been to color coordinate them. So for example, if I had a purple elevated vertical spot, I would have used a purple winder, and then I would know that that's purple's 40 meters, for example, or 20 meters, and I would have known, okay, I'm going to operate 20 meters, let's bring these out. Same thing with the orange ones. Orange is 12 meters, let me bring out the orange winder, which has 12 meters of wire.
The parts that I'm using for the elevated radial are from the Dude Spike 2.0 with just different lengths of the PVC to correlate with the different lengths on the POTA Performer or elevated vertical antenna system. One thing I would consider is to color code them like I just mentioned. If you have a red spike, you know that that red spike is for 15 meters and you know to grab the red wire winders. The instruction manual for the POTA Performer mentions that you could have your radial wires spaced 90 degrees apart or 180 degrees apart. When spaced 90 degrees apart, this adds some directionality to your antenna system. However, today I went ahead and I went more omnidirectional with each radial wire being 180 degrees apart. So 20 meters goes this way and 20 meters goes that way. Or rather, in the shape of an inverted V.
For the highest band that I'll be using today, I went ahead and I put the radial wires out, and now I'm going to extend one of these 3 antennas and plug in an SO239 with an SWR meter to get a tune. Just a note about this 90-degree connector. In this situation where I'm using elevated vertical, I probably should go with a straight down kind of connector, you know, so you have your 3/8 up here and it goes straight down to SO239 instead of a 90-degree angle. But today I'm actually testing this as I had it manufactured, and I want to make sure and see how it actually functions. Let me go do that for all 3 bands that I'm working on today, and I'll be right back.
I speak about this in my POTA Performer build video. However, our radial wires are now installed, and with the PVC elevated, all I do is I use a wire winder, the same wire winder that the wire is on, and I put an M10 bolt through it, screw it in, and that holds our elevated radials in place.
You know, I keep saying one of these days I'll buy a rig expert, but man, that stuff's expensive.
When making YouTube videos, there's this interesting thing called foreshadowing. And that statement about buying a rig expert, well, that was foreshadowing. Now let me explain what happened. I brought my MFJ antenna analyzer out to the field, super excited to test everything out. And I did get to see some values, which you're about to see some of them right now. But when I saved them in memory, so you didn't have to see shaky old me, they just didn't save in memory. I confirmed they saved a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 banks on the MFJ. And when I got home and plugged everything in, they're just not there. So this is going to be shaky. And when I get that rig expert, I'm happy to test everything again and provide the data in a text document at hamradiodo.com.
So here we are. Let's just go frequency plot and standing wave ratio. All right, it looks like right above 12 meters, or right at 12 meters, we're at 1.08 to 1. Let's go down to 15 meters. About 1.32 to 1, of course I could adjust that. And then let's go down to 20 meters. 1.09 to 1, just above 20 meters. And I suspect that that LI Express antenna is just hard to fully extend. It probably has one more little section that needs to be extended up a little bit. But for now, I think we're going to be fine, because if we go down to 14.126, it's still 1.54 to 1. But everybody says SWRs and everything, so let's take a little bit better of a look. And operating around 14.311 today, and yeah, it's fine. 121 to 1. Let's take a look at the impedance at 52 ohms. Let's take a look at the resistance. Ooh, X-9 factor. We could probably take a look at that here in the future too.
Again, a lot of the information got lost because right there I was going to take the reactance and the impedance and I was going to put it on the screen as I talk to you, much like I am now. So let's do that again in the future. I'll get all that information, and I'll even run some PSK reporter reports, and we'll see exactly how this thing performs and compares against end-fed half-wave as well as a ground vertical.
This goes along with bad practice, but since I'm testing out that 90-degree connector, well, I'm going to have a bend on my choke. This is a choke, and a choke should always be used when you're dealing with these feed points. Today I don't have enough coax. I have a 20-foot run of RG8X, so today we're also going to be using this cooler as a cool radio stand. QSL, South Cleveland 59, and just to confirm I have the call right, it's Kilo 8 Alpha Golf November, Larry or Lawrence?
Yeah, sounds good. You sound good in here. QSL.
QSL, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Kilo 0 India November Golf.
Kilo 0 India November Golf. I have you at a 5959 here in the US 1012. QSL?
You got a wonderful 59 at this Foxtrot, Central Foxtrot Lima, and actually a little bit over 59. Sounded good, great audio.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for that great report. I'm testing out a new antenna today, and it seems like it's working. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day. Oh, very good. November 4, Victor Echo. Kenneth, I have you at a 4x4. 44 here to US 1012. QSL. Oh, excellent. Thank you for the 5.9. I appreciate hearing that. And thanks for the contact. Thanks for making it happen. Hope you have a great day. Hey, here's the deal. I have to tear this down and I have to get going. I did make contacts on 15 and on 20. I didn't make them on 12. And we do need to talk about this antenna and who it's for, my overall thoughts on it. It is a cool antenna, but I want to give you some better thoughts on it. So let's just go back to the office right now.
Whoa, how did I get here? I made a couple of notes, and one of the notes says that I need to make some improvements, and I know I do with, for example, the radial connectors into the plates, if you saw that. I didn't really talk about it because I spoke about it in other episodes. In fact, a lot of the episodes that I do, I speak about some of these very similar concepts, and I just get kind of tired of repeating myself. However, I have to think to myself, is this an effective antenna and is it useful? Who is it for? If I was going out to the field and I was going to operate a 15-minute activation, get my 10 contacts and be gone, I probably would not want to set this up because it would take more time to set up than it would take to make the contacts. I think I could set this up in 10 minutes, but I don't want to set it up in 10 minutes for just a 10-minute activation. However, let's say I was going out to do something like a community event or a field day event. I'm going camping and I'm going to be operating for 3 days and I'm going to need to switch between bands rapidly. I need to go from 20, I need to get to 15, and then we'll say 10. Oh, cool. All I have to do is switch the bands because everything's already tuned and ready to go. And of course, I also do want to mention that you could easily do a 40-meter quarter wave on here. You could use something like an alpha antenna, 34.5-foot antenna, but you would have to guy it really high. And I just didn't feel like messing with that either. Some notes that I wrote on the blackboard are turnable lock. And what I mean by that is when we have that tripod set up, we put a bolt and a 3D printed part on the bottom to connect to the top plate. But in the future, if it was a part that went through and then twist and locked into place with two little hooks, that would be a lot more efficient and effective to get everything installed. I hope you enjoyed this video where I took the concept of the DX Commander and I took the concept of an elevated vertical like the POTA Performer and I took the Dexpert antenna system and I combined them all into one. I've never claimed to be an antenna guy. I've never claimed to be a smart guy. I just have this way of thinking about things and building things and always having the curiosity to continue to drive on to learn more. And for me, that's what amateur radio is about, the ability to constantly learn new and unique things that you never know when they might come in handy. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care, 73.